What's up, guys? It's your boy PP24's back again. You get me? The consistency is crazy, man. You gotta appreciate it, man. What I'm doing for you, yeah. So all I'm asking for is a like, subscribe, comment. You get me? It's all free. You don't have to pay for nothing. Just literally just like it so I can go. You get me? YouTube can push me into the algorithm. But today's topic is actually a much serious one than my previous videos. I've been reacting to some tunes, some boxing, you get me, just some random bits and bobs, and it's just all entertainment. This isn't entertainment, yeah? This guy, as we all know, well, if you don't know, his name is Axel Rudakubana, yeah? If you don't know, this is him. This is him, 1 second. This beast of a man, yeah? This guy, he's not he's a beast, bro. Like, not a beast. He's just a creature. He's not a human. Haywan. You understand? If you don't know, he actually pulled up to a Taylor Swift dancing club, yeah, where there's just all little kids, yeah, all girls around 4, 5, 6 years old. You know what I mean? Maybe even younger. God knows. And he actually ended up, sadly, unaliving 2, 3 of them. Obviously, my love goes out to the parents, the families of them little kids, cause no little kid deserves this. No innocent soul deserves pain, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, they say he was planning to actually go for his former school a few days earlier, but his dad ended up stopping him. Now, this was a mad story because there's so much things that go into this, and I'm gonna break it down. What happened? Yeah. So this is the news article of him actually getting sentenced, and it will talk about. You get me? Like, what happened, what he did. So yeah, let's just read into this. Yeah. Axel Rudakubana would have been sentenced to a whole life prison sentence term had he been 18 at the time of the mass killing, the judge said. This is 23rd of January 2025. Southport killer Axel Rudakubana has been sentenced to a minimum term of 52 years. Bro, they shouldn't even give him a minimum. All life till he's dead, bro. He should be in jail. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, the worst jail, bro. Like, he shouldn't be able to come out. He shouldn't be able to do nothing, bro. You get me? Like, this guy, he isn't right in the head, bro. I'm pretty, like I said, bro, he had many chances to turn back when his dad stopped him and all of this stuff was going on. He still carried on trying to do it, and eventually he got what he wanted, innit? But now look how he's living. Southport killer Axel Rudakubana has been sentenced to a minimum of 52 years for the sadistic murders of 3 young girls, so he was 3, in an attack described as shocking and pure evil. Elsie Dot Stancombe 7, Bebe King 6, and Alicia Da Silva, RIP to all of them 3 girls, died, while 8 other children and 2 adults, dance class leader Leanne Lucas and businessman Jonathan Hayes, was seriously wounded. Thank God that more people didn't pass away, because there was a lot of little kids there, a lot of people, you know what I mean, parents and that. And thank God they were able to escape or just survive, you know what I mean. The 18-year-old refused to come into the courtroom as he was sentenced at Liverpool Crown Court, having been removed from the dock earlier due to a disruptive behaviour, which included demands to see a paramedic and shouts of "I feel ill." Sentencing him, Judge Mr. Justice Goose said many who have heard the evidence might describe what he did as evil. Who could dispute it? And obviously, I'll play the video because I've got another video ready for you. This was obviously him in the back of a taxi taxi dashcam shows Rudakubana before Southport attack. Earlier, the details of Rudakubana's crimes were laid out in court for the first time in graphic detail, including CCTV and dashboard camera footage from outside the Heart Spice Studios on Hart Street. The court heard just after 11:45 a.m. on 29 July, Rudakubana moved through the sold-out Taylor Swift-themed dance workshop organised by Miss Lucas, systematically stabbing young girls as they sat making friendship bracelets and singing along to Swift's music. Now, bro, there is no excuse for this, by the way, yeah? This guy, he's either not right in the head, yeah? But that's the only like question, that's the only answer, bro. You're just not right in the head, bro. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of 18, 19-year-old is gonna focus on, yeah, let me kill little girls, bro? You know what I mean? It don't even make sense in my head, bro. Obviously, you could clearly tell this guy's not sane, innit? Prosecutor Deanna Herr, KC, also described how Rudakubana gloated about the attacks as he was escorted through Copy Lane police station after his arrest, saying he was glad the children were dead. The teenager had booked a taxi to take him to Hart Street after leaving his home in Old School Close, Banks, West Lancashire at 11:10 a.m, the court was told. Miss Hare played footage of Rudakubana asking the driver to point him to the address of the dance class before getting out without paying. So actually, when he caught the taxi, when he got out, he actually didn't pay the driver, and the driver actually, you get me, he couldn't really do nothing because I think Axel Rudakubana had a knife, and obviously at that time, you get me, like, it's probably like a £10 taxi. What's he gonna do, bro? Go fight the kid. The driver's dashboard camera also captured Rudakubana walk up the stairs of the Heart Spice building to the first floor studio, which had 26 children. Miss Lucas and her colleague and friend hide Liddell inside. So these were the 3 victims. RIPs to them. Inshallah, they all get blessed Jannah, which they will. Elsie Dot Stancombe 7, Alicia Da Silva Aguiar 9, and Bebe King had been having fun listening to their idol Taylor Swift when Rudakubana struck. Seconds later, the sounds of screaming children filled the courtroom, and the footage showed girls screaming out of the Heart Spice dance studio. The families of the victim cried in the public gallery as Miss Hare played footage of the 3 girls staggering into the street and collapsing, including 2 of the survivors and Alice. Unlike Bibi and Elsie Dot, Alice had managed to get out of the building despite her grave injuries, but collapsed by the car of a woman who had arrived to pick up her daughter. Inside the studio, Bibi had been subjected to 122 live wounds, bro. How can you have this much hatred against a little kid that done nothing to you, bear in mind, yeah? These little kids were fully innocent. He didn't know them. Do you know what I mean? He don't know these girls, bro. Like, he just randomly wanted to go to that place and hurt kids when he doesn't know them personally. They've done nothing to him, so there was no reason for this. Dot had 85 stab wounds. Astaghfirullah. Inside the studio, Bibi had been subjected to 125. Miss Liddell and one other child were hiding in a locked toilet on a landing outside. Miss Liddell later described how she realized that some of the children had not escaped when she heard them begging Rudakubana to stop. The police arrived at Hart Street shortly before 11:59 a.m. 3 officers and a member of the public window cleaner, Joe Verright, charged up those stairs to find Rudakubana stood over the body of Bebe King holding a knife. Police body camera footage showed him tackled to the floor as Miss Verright shouted in utter shock and horror at the injuries he saw had been inflicted on Bebe. Hope I'm saying that right, Bebe. A short time later, Miss Liddell and the child hiding with her were seen sobbing in terror and relief as the police told them it was safe to emerge. So obviously they took him down. They told everyone leave the building, safe and calm. We were easy prey. One of the survivors, a 7-year-old girl referred as Child A, had been pulled back inside the building by Rudakubana as she tried to escape. Picture that, bro. Little girls are running around out. He's literally grabbing them and dragging them like you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not trying to compare anything, but it's like a horror movie, bro. Like, if you were there, like, you get me. That's a serial killer, bro. What's he doing, bro? Like, killed 3 little kids, innocent people, bro, for no reason. As she tried to escape and was stabbed repeatedly before managing to stagger into the street where she fell to the ground. A statement written by the mother of Child A, read by Miss Hare, said her father had been broken by what happened to his daughter. Our daughter has not only experienced the most violent, frenzied attack on her body, but she's witnessed so much horror too. The leader of the dance class, Miss Lucas, who had read her statement in court, looked around the packed courtroom at the family members of fellow victims and survivors as she spoke. She said he targeted us because we were women and girls, vulnerable and easy prey. To discover that he had always set out to hurt the vulnerable is beyond comprehensible. For Alice, Elsie and Bebe, Heidi and the surviving girls, I'm surviving for you. Victim impact statements were also read out by Miss Hare, in which the grieving families of two of the murder victims branded their daughter's killer as pure evil, and his actions have had them left in continuous pain. Stan Ray's KC mitigating told the court Rudakubana had appeared to have been a normal child until he reached 13. Mr. Ray said there is no psychiatric, you know what I mean, psychiatric evidence before the court that could suggest that a mental disorder contributed to the defendant's actions. However, he did make a transition from a normal, well-disciplined child to someone who was capable of committing acts of such shocking and senseless violence. So basically, they're trying to say the lawyer was actually trying to get him to be put in a mental asylum, but the prosecutors actually said that this guy knew exactly what he was doing. There was many chances for him to turn back and he still did it. This guy does not deserve to be anywhere else but a jail cell. You understand? And the worst ones. In his sentencing remarks, Justice Goose said, I'm sure Rudakubana had the settlement determination to carry out these offences, and he had been able to, had he been able to, he would have killed each and every child, all 26 of them. Yeah, so they basically proved that as well, that he had the intention of killing all of them if he wasn't stopped. Justice Goose confirmed the offence did not reach the legal definition of terrorism because he did not kill to further a political, religious or ideological cause. So they're basically trying to say he can't be a terrorist because he wasn't doing it because he hates someone in the government. Technically he isn't killing innocent people. You're a terrorist in my eyes, isn't it? Because, bro, there's nothing worse to, you get what I'm saying? You're you're a Haywan, bro, terrorist, bro, literally. And obviously they're not. I don't know why they're not calling him a terrorist. But apparently it's because he did not have a political, religious, or ideological cause. However, he told the packed courtroom that whether the motivation was terrorism or not misses the point. What he did on 29th of July last year caused shock and revulsion to the whole nation, and it must be viewed as the extreme level of crime. The judge said his culpability and the harm he caused and intended were at the highest. Rudakubana was sentenced for 3 counts of murder, 10 attempted murders, one of producing the biological toxin ricin, and one of the possession of Al-Qaeda training. So he had basically a poison, and in his possession he had a Al-Qaeda training manual and an offence under the Terrorism Act in his room, by the way. So I don't know how his parents didn't seem to find out when they were cleaning it. You know what I mean? In a statement after the hearing, Elsie's family offered their gratitude to the emergency services who responded to the incident. We are so thankful for their bravery, compassion and strength, which should serve as an inspiration to everybody, they said. The family also thanked the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, King Charles and the Prince and Princess of Wales for arranging private meetings where they offered their condolences. So obviously that's Kate Middleton, Prince William, and one of the people, ambulances that were probably on the scene. Earlier, the Prime Minister said the thoughts of the entire nation were with the families of Rudakubana's victims. Sir Keir said, "I want to say directly to the survivors, families and community of Southport, you are not alone. We stand with you in your grief. What happened in Southport was an atrocity, and the judge has stated this vile offender will likely never be released. After one of the most harrowing moments in our country's history, we owe it to these young innocent girls and all those affected to deliver the change that they deserve." So anyway, guys, that was a bit of backstory on what happened at the dancing club, yeah. And like I said, he had many opportunities to turn back. A few days earlier, he was about to visit his school and do the same thing. His dad clocked him, got him out of the taxi, stopped him, right? A few days later, he actually goes, somehow sneak through, and actually was able to do what he wanted to do. Now, this was actually him at around, look, in video, at age 12, yeah? So obviously the article did say around 13, after 13 is when you started seeing a downfall in his behaviour. But at this time, he was actually a normal kid. You know, I'm going to play this video to you. You can't tell that this guy is going to ever become what he became. You know what I mean? He looks clean. His hair, you got me trying to say, he just looks like a normal little kid. But yeah, I'm gonna play this video, and you're gonna literally see that you get me? You don't look any different.
Today we are here.
Oh, 1 sec.
It's that time of year again. Today we are here.
Oh, 1 second.
It's that time of year again.
Southport knifeman once starred as Doctor Who in BBC video. Axel Rudakubana, the Southport knifeman, once starred as Doctor Who in a BBC Children in Need video at age 12. BBC and talent agency deleted the video after his association emerged. Crazy, bro. Crazy. See how life works out, man. It's crazy.
You could even dress up as every Doctor Who ever. Do your thing for children in need.
As you can see, you would never think this guy is gonna grow up and become a serial killer, bro. Literally. He don't even look tapped in that video. He just looks like a normal little kid. You know what I mean? But bro, it's life, man. You can't just say, oh, just because of how he looks, bro. You never know what people grow into. You know what I mean? So this is actually, I'm gonna just make myself smaller so you can see. This is the footage of him actually getting in the taxi, going to the dance school, and literally not paying for the taxi, obviously. I'm just going to play this video, and this is how he prepared basically for his attack, yeah? So that's him walking towards the taxi, I'm pretty sure. Oh, he was walking towards the bus stop, okay. Here he made a phone call ahead of the dance studio where he killed 3 children. Don't know who he made a phone call to, but Rudakubana, who was 17 in this footage, had a previous assault conviction from 2019. He was referred 3 times to the government's anti-extremism program after expressing interest in school shootings. Each time his case was assessed by the counter-terror police, but he was not deemed a terrorist risk. The CCTV then shows the teenager walking away from the bus stop shortly after 11 a.m. I think the bus was taking too long, so he just like, let me just call a taxi, right?
We cash a card, mate. Number 34A, yeah. We cash a card, mate. We cash a card, mate.
So obviously the driver's asking him, cash or card, mate, pay for your trip, right? The guy just literally doesn't respond, just walks out. He just asks him, is that the place? He said, yeah, that's the place. Then he just walks out. Don't know, if you're a taxi driver, bro, you should have just kept your, if you just kept your door locked. Actually, I can't lie, he did have a knife on him, so if anything happened, bro, it could have gone wrong with the taxi driver as well. But yeah, obviously this is the taxi driver's dash cam. We next see Rudakubana arrive at the dance studio where the Taylor Swift themed holiday club was taking place. So that's obviously the place, and upstairs is where all the kids were actually dancing. Or whatever they do. I don't know if they were dancing or whatever they were doing, but all the kids were upstairs. As you can see, he had so much time to think about what he's doing, bro. So much. Yeah? On the way there, at a bus stop, here. You know what I mean? Look, he couldn't get in, but somehow he actually managed to get in. Oh, there was an open side door right there, bro. Literally. An open door, man. This was obviously the knife that he had on his person. Police released pictures of the weapons found at Rudakubana's address. Okay, so that was not what he was found on his person, but actually what was found at the address. Look at all of this stuff, bro. You're telling me his parents didn't know, man. Come on, man. This was the poison. A plastic tub containing the poison ricin was also found in his home. Look how disgusting that looks, bro. I don't know how are you meant to like poison people with this? Maybe in their food, maybe just smelling it would get, I don't know. But yeah, it looks dirty, man. Disgusting. So police also released a picture of a knife identical to the one used in that attack. Obviously, they're probably not going to show the actual knife, but this is a knife literally, basically, was the one he used. Look how sharp it is, man. Crazy, man. Like, what goes through people's heads, bro? So yeah, that was just before he actually got to the dance club. Now this is police body cam footage which shows the moment Axel Rudakubana is arrested.
I'll film it.
So just imagine what's going through the police head, bro. They just witnessed, obviously when they're going to arrest him and tackle him, they've just witnessed kids bleeding because of him stabbing them up, bro. Like, bro, there's no reason in the world a guy that's 17, sorry, he was 17 at the time, should be around next to a kid's body with a knife that's dripping with blood. You get me? The police obviously didn't have to question nothing at that time. Straight away he knew, yeah, this guy is the one who's actually causing this harm to them. So immediately arrested him.
Poses.
Is it possibly?
We've got no. We've got no information to suggest there's anything other than this person involved. He's in custody. There's a knife up there. He's been disarmed.
Any more kids in there?
Not that we can tell.
Yeah, I've seen all the cupboards in the main room. It's empty.
God damn it. Damn. Okay. Damn it, guys. I don't know if I captured the audio correct, man. Let me just put this in so you can hear. 1 second. I'm sure it wouldn't have made much difference anyway to the previous audio because there was barely any audio anyway. So let me play this.
I mean, I don't know whether it's worth a walk around, mate. We've.
Hey, Nate, ask him if it wants to do it. Ask it just to clear it.
Look at the way he just, you get me, like, bro. He knows what he's done, bro. Like, you know what I'm trying to say. Just that body type, you just know, bro. Like, just game over, fam. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, bro, what else did he expect? from what you do, you get me, you karma's real as well, bro. You wouldn't have got away with this regardless, bro. You get me? It's not a joke. But if you can kill 3 little girls, bro, who ain't you gonna kill, bro? You know what I mean? If they just let him, if he wasn't, you get me, if you had an escape plan or whatever, bro, they would have tried finding him immediately. Like, they would have not stopped till they found this guy. Just because killing innocent people means that you would literally kill anyone on the street, which means you're the biggest danger that's walking on the streets right now. So they would have made sure that they got this guy good.
Office on the front. Thanks, Lloydie.
Yeah, check the front, mate.
Sorted.
Yeah.
If you want to pop into the rear, I've got him here. Yeah.
I'll get that key back first time, sorry. Can you get all that down there?
Let's do it.
Spencer Lloydie.
I'm alright with you doing that. Yeah, I just want to take it from me. Is it
Take his arm over there, mate. Yeah. You happy?
Just double lock it, mate.
Got it?
Slightly unconventional, but fine.
I can get in the back with him if you want. Just double belt braces.
We're going to be going grade 1, mate, aren't we?
So yeah, that was actually him getting arrested. So after that, he obviously, I shown you the news article. He had actually obviously did the crime. Obviously I showed you the news article, right? He got 52 years. He's now in jail. I think it's Belmarsh. Don't quote me. I think it is Belmarsh. He was in. He apparently attacked a prison officer while he was there with boiling water. So obviously this 6 months ago, Southport killer injures prison officer in attack. So let's just watch this.
There's not a single UK jail with tighter security than Belmarsh, yet behind its towering...
Obviously it is Belmarsh. You get me? Maximum highest, like one of the most... It's literally the most secure prison in the UK.
Walls
with infamous criminals in there, well-known ones especially.
An alleged attack on a prison officer using boiling water by this man, triple murderer Axel Rudakubana. The teenager sentenced to at least 52 years.
You could just tell by his mugshot, bro. You get me? You could just tell, bro. Like, you know this guy is trouble.
Years for killing 3 young girls in Southport last summer. And this latest incident, less than a month after Manchester bomb plotter Hashim Abedi is said to have attacked 4 guards with hot oil and homemade weapons at Durham's Frankland prison. But there's concern that worse may be yet to come.
My greatest fear is, and we've already come really close to it at Frankland, is that one of my colleagues will be murdered on duty because of the lack of protection and because senior leaders are not proactive enough and keep appeasing prisoners.
After that attack,
He's right, man. The guy went for innocent kids, bro. What, you think he's not going to try to kill one of your guards? 100% he will, bro. He will at least try. If he can't, you get me, you'll keep trying till he got it, bro. He ain't got nothing to live for no more, bro. I wish this, you know, there should be the death penalty for people like him, bro. Literally, bro. Like, there's no worse crime that you could do, bro. Like, you get me? Like, the majority vote, like, let's say the whole country votes. Obviously, people that don't want to vote, they don't have to. The majority vote should go to if this guy should deserve the death penalty. And 100% sure the majority vote would be yes. You know what I mean? Because it's justice at the end of the day, bro.
Justice Secretary announced a snap review into the use of body armour by prison staff, as well as a trial of tasers. And there have been calls for violent inmates not to have access to items like kettles. But former prison governor Tom Wheatley says that's not the answer.
Immediate actions, if we take a knee-jerk approach to this, we stand a chance of it being counterproductive, of getting it wrong, of actually increasing frustration, of increasing levels of violence. So it needs to be a considered response.
Attempts to reduce violence are not helped by overcrowding and a shortage of staff. Rudakubana is alleged to have used a kettle in his cell to boil the water before hurling it through the hatch.
They should have never even let him have a kettle, bro. You know what I mean? They should make whatever he needs to make and just bring it to him. He shouldn't be allowed. Obviously, it's basic human rights that you should be allowed to this and this and this. But for someone like him, bro, like I said, for what he done, he does not deserve to have anything in the cell. Just 4 walls, a mattress, that's it, and a blanket. And let him live the rest of his life like that, bro.
In the door, the officer was taken to hospital and released later without needing further treatment, but the outcome might have been very different. And this latest incident has only highlighted once more the risks prison staff face every time they come to work. Data from the Ministry of Justice reveals the scale of the problem. Last year, 10,605 members of prison staff were assaulted, up 15% on the figure for 2023. And nearly 3 times the total recorded a decade earlier. A spokesman for the prison service said, "Violence in prison will not be tolerated and we will all..."
So, that was him actually attacking a prison officer. Let's watch one more video of this guy. He explains it well.
Axel Rudakubana has attacked the screws inside of HMP Belmarsh. This absolute little cretin who's responsible for the murders of those 3 angels in Southport has attacked the screws inside of HMP Belmarsh. He has thrown boiling water over the screws, the ones that are there to protect him. He's down there for his own protection. All he has is the screws. Now he has attacked the screws. It is game on. These screws will no longer have to protect him the way they have. As in, they will not have to torture him, pretend they are friends. He will have no human contact. He has done everybody a favour by doing this. Even though an officer has been hurt, he's went to hospital, he's been discharged with no serious injuries. Now he's done this. He's done everybody a favour for the simple fact his time is now going to become 100 times harder. He is going to be stuck in a concrete pad with nothing but his own thoughts and the injuries that the screws would have inflicted when they've twisted him up after he has scalded them. If you are wanting the full video, go onto my YouTube channel, Behind Bars TV. There's a more in-depth video. Axel Rudakubana.
So yeah, that was the history of Axel Rudakubana till 6 months ago. I didn't hear of him since. I was keeping up like to the updates that were actually coming out about him, because eventually I just want to find out that he's unalived. You know what I mean? So I do try update myself, like keep updated about him, just to let me know what's going on. You know what I'm trying to say? Obviously I don't really care. I just care that you get me justice is served. So yesterday a video came out about Rudakubana actually getting attacked inside prison. Round of applause, by the way. I don't know if he got attacked or attacked inside prison. Maybe he did attack again, but hopefully he got attacked. Wish and luck. Obviously I haven't watched this video, so hopefully it is something like that. And apparently, look, he is on S Watch. Yeah, so let's just watch this.
Let's talk about Axel Rudakubana, the Southport killer.
It's come out yesterday, by the way. So everything that he's talking about is literally very, very recent. So hopefully we get good news.
Basically, he's in Belmarsh jail in southeast London, where, unsurprisingly, he hasn't exactly been a model prisoner. He's in solitary confinement after chucking boiling water all over a prison guard. He's also attacked another inmate, and fellow inmates there expect him to probably spend the rest of his 52-year sentence in solitary confinement, if only for his own sake.
Still not enough justice. He should be unalived. Him living, even if it's solitary, whatever, bro. You get me? This guy did not care. You get me? About you just wanted you don't care if he lives, dies, whatever, bro. You just might as well just end it right there and then. You know what I'm trying to say? But apparently he's gonna do 52 years in solitary, which is somewhat justice, at least. At least the families can be kind of happy with that. You know what I mean? At least he's not getting what he wants. He's got no friends. He can't talk to no one. No one's gonna talk to him, especially the prison officers. Cause yeah, he ain't someone to be liked or talked to, innit? You get me?
Safety, because he's hated by prison guards and prisoners alike. But this is the story that struck me. Somebody's just come out of the jail who sort of knew him vaguely, said that he's been hiding. They fear he's been hoarding and hiding sleeping pills. They've been giving him sleeping pills, and they think he's been hiding them so that he can take an overdose at some point in a last act of control, commit suicide with these pills. Well, you know, so that's one reason to worry about this. But my big question about this was, why would you give a prisoner a sleeping pill? Well, the bloke in, what for? Who cares? Let's talk to former Met Police detective.
Now, this guy, he said it in a wrong way. He said, why would you give a prisoner sleeping pills? Who cares? Prisoners are humans at the end of the day. You do know that. There's good prisoners as well, bro. Not every person who has done a crime is a bad person. To the law, yes, they went against the law, but they don't have they probably didn't do it with a bad heart, bad intention. Some people got to feed their family some way or another. Some people do things because they weren't right at the time. You know what I mean? So obviously, yeah, maybe they shouldn't care about Axel Rudakubana because of what he did. But obviously the prison officers are there to help him probably go to sleep or whatever. You know what I mean? Even though they don't like him, they know what he's done. But their job is to actually make sure they're there to look after him, I guess.
Peter Blexley. Peter, have you heard about this before? Poor prisoners suffering from insomnia being given sleeping pills. What else do they want? A cup of cocoa? Maybe some Horlicks to help them nod off at night?
Well, it is quite common for prisoners to be given medication because, of course, so many of the people who are in prison have severe mental health conditions. And so routinely medicine is often given to them to try and manage them, but also to try and keep some kind of order in the prison. Essentially, that's what the staff want. They want a level of order so that they go home safely at the end of a shift. If the prisoners take over and get control and start running the place, then the order breaks down, violence inevitably occurs, and prison officers get injured, exactly like the one who had boiling hot water thrown over them by the monster that is Axel Rudakubana.
Yeah, he's 19 years old, and as I said just now, apparently he's hated by prison guards and prisoners alike. They all hate him. Apparently he's living like a tramp, never washes, never cuts his hair, so he looks like the wild man of Borneo now, in this solitary confinement cell where they fully expect, the way he behaves, him to serve the rest of his sentence. You must have come across prisoners in solitary confinement. What kind of a life is that?
Yeah, but before I get on to that, can you please add me to the list of people that hate him, along with the prisoners and the prison staff?
Join the queue, Pete. Join the queue.
Yeah, exactly. I really don't care if they hose him down once a month with a jet washer, to be perfectly honest with you, through a hole in the door. He deserves no sympathy. He deserves everything that's coming to him. And for him to be in solitary confinement, which is in itself a form of punishment, he's brought upon himself because he is such a dangerous, psychopathic monster. Nobody can be trusted to go anywhere near him because he just wants to kill and hurt people. We know this. His actions have proved this time and time again. Of course, what I don't want him to do is to be able to get a stash of sleeping pills and then end his miserable life. What I want is for him to spend many, many, many years, no, decades in fact, incarcerated.
He's also right about that. I can't lie. I did say it's good if he unalives himself, but then the torture would end, you know. Hopefully he goes through this whole life getting tortured You know what I mean? Living miserably, like he just said. Because obviously, if he's gonna live solitary for 50 years, the rest of his sentence, bro, that literally means no TV, no phone, no nothing. Nothing. You get me? So, yeah, if he lives like that, then you never know, man. That's justice, man. People might accept that as justice.
In solitary, having a thoroughly miserable, sad, pathetic existence, because that's what he deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, when I asked you what it's like in solitary confinement, that wasn't a sort of be kind question. Oh, poor Axel, what must it be like all on his own in that cell? I'm just asking you as a matter of fact, what is life like if you're in solitary confinement as a prisoner?
Yeah, it kind of depends on the mentality of the prisoner and what facilities they have. There are some people who have been so dangerous in the past that they have to be incarcerated on their own, but they can sometimes have books for company, for example, or a radio, or even a television. But I think Rudakubana is so dangerous that I suspect whatever facilities he's got are pretty limited. We know he's on 30-minute suicide watch, so he will be checked every 30 minutes.
That means he has a prison officer outside his cell 24 hours a day, not the same one, obviously, checking on him every 30 minutes, which is suicide watch, yeah?
Yeah, indeed, to make sure that he hasn't taken his own life. And I'm sure that will be one of the concerns. It would be remiss of me, of course, not to mention Alice, Bebe and Elsie, and all the other, those three beautiful children that he butchered to death. And, of course, all the other people that he tried to murder. And this simply is somebody who is beyond the pale, can never be rehabilitated, has to be caged and caged for the rest of their life. And if those circumstances are Spartan, if somebody regards them as cruel, well, quite frankly, I really don't give a damn. He's got what he deserved. It's absolutely all been brought upon himself by himself. And I truly hope that his existence is sad, lonely, and utterly miserable.
Me too. I'm sure most people would agree with that after what he did that terrible day in Southport. But I don't know where you stand on this, Pete, but I suppose some people would say, well, why do we go to all this effort, 24-hour watch and checking on him every 30 minutes and keeping him on all his own and all that effort? Wouldn't it be easier to just bring back the death penalty? Because if anybody deserved it, it's him. But do you feel that in some way to spend your life in solitary confinement day after day after day for 52 years is worse than a death sentence?
Now that I think about it, yes. Living your life for 50 years in solitary with no TV, especially if you don't get no TV, no nothing, no contact at the outside world like that, no phone, suicide watch 24/7, you know what I mean? Then yeah, definitely, man, that's way worse than just letting him end it right now.
He won't get out at 70 either if he lives that long.
Yeah.
He will never come out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
The only way he will come out of prison is in 6 planks of wood, absolutely guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I completely get if people are either shouting at their laptops or shouting at the radio tonight going, Peter, you've got this completely wrong. We should just stick a noose round his head and make him take the drop. I completely respect and get that point of view. And believe you me, people like Rudakubana really challenge my thinking. But the punishment is that lifelong incarceration, decade after decade after decade, never tasting freedom, every day being confronted by the results of your actions. And if we look at people like Harold Shipman or Fred West, for example, there's a couple of monsters for you. Neither of them could face the incarceration, so they took their own lives. They were given what some would say is an easy way out. So I'm in favour of a whole life incarceration, and quite frankly, if it's as miserable can be, then I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, and I must say, to go back to our original point, I must say that I would just say, you can't get to sleep, Axel? Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
Enjoy your insomnia, don't care. But I do get your point as well. In the end, you got to run a prison, and you got to keep the inmates as docile as possible, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I get this. I'm not massive on the. I don't really have any strong feelings about the death penalty. Do it or don't. I see more and more cases where I think, why don't we put this guy to death? Why don't we execute them? But when I think about that guy, Rudakubana, day in, day out, the sheer drudgery of being in a cell on your own, 52 years, as you say, probably 60 years. He'll probably top himself at some point anyway, but before then he will have had one hell of a bad time, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Peter, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. Peter Blacksey there.
So yeah, that was actually this guy talking about how Axel Rudakubana, obviously they found sleeping pills, I think, or they suspect he's got sleeping pills and he's hiding them, right? Because obviously apparently he's going to the nurse and telling the nurse, the doctor that's in the prison cell. If you don't know, obviously there's always a infirmary, it's called. I don't know if that's in America or UK, but obviously it's where like the doctors and the nurses place of the prison. And yeah, like I said, prisoners obviously often get ill and stuff, so obviously they have medication ready to give out. Axel Rudakubana probably literally tried saying, yeah, I can't sleep and whatever. Doctor was like, okay, take the sleeping pill. He's probably been gathering them every day. Obviously they probably won't give you too much at once because they know, you get me, that you might unalive yourself, so give him like one a day, and he's probably been saving them, hiding them. That's what they suspect anyway. You never know, he could be just taking them and they just suspect the worst. But yeah, in my opinion, obviously always suspect the worst with this guy, bro, because you don't know what's he capable of. Just make sure he don't unalive himself, make sure he lives enough for him to literally just, you get me, the torture live out.
Let's talk about Axel Rudakubana, the Southport.
Okay, 1 second. So now we're gonna go to this guy. It says Axel Rudakubana attack inside prison solitary for 52 years.
Rudakubana is facing 52 years in solitary confinement. Now I've been asked to do an updated video on this despicable, absolute wronging. You cannot even comprehend what name you can even give him, because you can't comprehend.
By the way, this guy's name on YouTube is Behind Bars TV. Give him a subscribe if you can. He's a proper good guy. He's been in jail himself. He talks about jail people, jail stories. Talks about serial killers. Talks about what they've been going through. He's got like a prisoner mindset, so he knows like what they might be thinking, what the prisoners, what they're doing probably inside. You know what I mean? He's the actual one that I was actually watching the most, like the updates. He's given the most updates on Axel that I see in full detail, especially because he's got like inside information as well. So yeah, Behind Bars TV is his name. Watch him if you want.
The audacity and the absolute atrocity that he committed when he murdered them poor innocent little kids. Now, I was asked to do this video a couple of weeks ago because there was a load of fake news going around on social media. More so on Facebook. There was a lot of pages sharing it, saying Axel Rudakubana has been attacked inside a prison. The same ones that were sharing it saying Ian Huntley had both of his eyes taken out. And I was inundated with messages, emails asking, please delve into this and do a video that he has been attacked. But unfortunately, he hadn't. He attacked prison officers whilst inside of HMP Belmarsh segregation unit. And the article that I'm reading that has just come out today, which is the 3rd of December, It is across a few different outlets talking about this, and somebody who was in the segregation unit with him has come on and said a few little bits. But I have heard that he did nearly get shitted up in the block inside of HMP Belmarsh because he isn't allowed out when the other prisoners.
Obviously, if you don't know about jails, obviously normal prisoners who ain't in for this type of stuff actually hate people like this. You know what I mean? They hate people who are. They hate people who do abuse to their partners, children, any nonsense, especially people like Axel Rudakubana. So prisoners actually hate these type of people. So once they do come into the jail, if they're not like protected properly, and prisoners can actually have a go at them, they will. There's been many times. I don't know a few off the top of my head in the UK, but there was one situation in America. If you don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, he's a serial killer in America. This was around the 1990s and early 2000s. Like he was obviously he done all the murders and whatever. He went jail for it, and a prison officer let another man basically kill him. So you know what I mean? So people like to work together in the jails to make sure real justice is served. So yeah, that's what happens in jails when people actually, you're hated in jail, and people just, you get me, want justice, they want to serve justice with their own hands. So yeah, so obviously, blatantly, no one likes him. No other prisoner likes him unless they're like also these abusers, these auras, these nonsense. So they won't mind him, but only actual normal sane prisoners, they'll probably be like, I can't wait to get my hands on him. You get me?
Are out, and there is other inmates down the segregation units, and when I say shitted up, it's called potted and a few different things. When the inmate in question did have some of his that he come out of his back end, and some that come out the front had it mixed up inside of a bottle, and he was due to walk past his pad and squirt it through the gaps in the door, but the prison officer seen exactly what was going to happen because they're on guard, and he has a prison officer sitting outside of his pad constantly so that he cannot be got at, and the constantly is.
So apparently, if what I just heard is correct, there was another prison officer down the block in solitary, walking past Axel Rudakubana's prison cell to get probably to his own cell. He apparently was carrying, how can I say it, like stuff that comes out your backside, like you said, and urine. Mix it all together in a bag and actually wanted to dash it at Axel Rudakubana. But obviously, as you heard, also he's on S-Watch, so someone's behind his door 24/7. The officer must have clocked what's about to happen, and he stopped it from happening. So yeah, in that way he is actually kind of protected. I wish that guy got him, bro. That would have been so. The look on that guy's face. I wish. I'll pay anything just to see that happen and to see Axel Rudakubana's look on his face, bro. Anything.
It's for constant watch because he's on suicide watch, because the horrible little wrong'un will obviously be thinking about it, but they will not want him to do away with himself because that will be the easy way out for that wrong'un. But what I'm also going to be talking about as well in this one is that his parents, Merseyside police have said Rudakubana's parents could still face criminal charges after confirming they are assessing the testimony they gave to the public inquiry. So Alphonse Rudakubana admitted on oath that he and his wife knew their monster son had amassed an arsenal of knives and other weapons and was planning on carrying out an attack on his old school a week before he went on the rampage with a knife at a Taylor Swift themed dance class in July last year. But
I get where this guy's coming from. Obviously, there's a big debate. Could have the parents have stopped it? Yes, they probably could have. But who really thinks that their son is actually going to commit this type of crime, bro? Obviously, till then, that Taylor Swift thing happened, he hadn't ever stabbed someone. Do you know what I mean? If, like, a kid or... You know what I'm saying? So they never really thought... They probably knew, but they never thought he was actually going to go act it out. Couple of times maybe he went, but they're not gonna take, like, how you, as a parent, bro, you're never actually gonna think that your son is actually gonna do this type of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? He's 17. By the time they said till he was 13, he was a good kid. So 4 years he was just literally going through that phase. They probably thought, yeah, eventually this phase is gonna die down. They probably let him bring like all these knives and stuff to his room just to, you get me? He's probably being a reckless child. Obviously, there's no excuse for what they did. They could have maybe call the police social service to take him away, but they'll probably try to sort it with their own matter, and obviously it didn't work out. So yeah, he's probably right. They are somewhat to blame, but you can't put all the blame on them. They shouldn't be put into jail unless they were actually like had something to do with it. But yeah, that's in this case, it's very hard to prove for them to literally have something to do with what Axel Rudakubana did.
the couple who survived the genocide in their home country of Rwanda before being granted asylum in the UK failed to alert police or any other agency. So that, for me, brings criminal charges against...
If you're saying they failed to call police, I'm not defending him, by the way, not his parents or nothing. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. If you're saying he should have called police, so there's many other things that happened way before this. The school, trouble happened in the school, like they knew that this guy, he wasn't right. They sent him to a extremism place. Like, even they dismissed him as being not being a terror, like having terrorist thoughts, when he literally had an Al Qaeda manual at home. So if you're gonna put him in jail, you should put everyone else, his parents, in jail. By the way, I'm not defending his parents. There was a serious act that took place that took 3 innocent lives, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, like I keep saying. So yeah, the guy literally took 3 innocent lives, bro. Sorry, his parents can't be just to blame. There's a lot of other people that were also to blame. So yeah, like proving that it was just his parents' fault and his parents could have stopped it is gonna be pretty hard. But obviously, if it does get proven and they do get charged with it, I ain't saying that it's wrong. It's hopefully, if they are in the wrong, hopefully they do go jail for it. If not, obviously, you get me. As long as the main person in jail, who's Axel Rudakubana, and justice is served like that way, then that should be fine, man.
Against them two for not notifying the authorities.
Sorry for keep pausing it, but even in the case I was talking about before with Jeffrey Dahmer, his parents somewhat knew. Like, apparently, like, if you watch a documentary on Netflix, I don't know how real it is. Obviously, there's some exaggerations, but apparently the story with his father actually knew, had the same type of thoughts and stuff when he was younger. And he didn't know that Jeffrey Dahmer would have actually had these same type of thoughts. Obviously, they got the same genetics, so he never really thought that my son, just because he's got my genetics, is going to come with the same thoughts and weird thoughts that I was getting. But his son, Jeffrey Dahmer's father, was actually getting them same thoughts. Obviously, he didn't act upon it. Jeffrey Dahmer eventually acted upon it. So there's a big difference, bro. You can be having thoughts, but acting upon it is much difference. But so what are you trying to say? Like, just because the father went through it and and when he noticed Jeffrey Dahmer doing the same stuff, he didn't really point it out. He didn't call authorities on Jeffrey Dahmer. Should have the father gone to jail for it? No, because you don't know you get me? You don't know that your son is actually gonna act upon these crimes, bro. So yeah, I'm not saying they're innocent. I'm not saying they're guilty. I'm just saying you should always. There's all the factors you have to put together, bro. Like, if they're guilty, then there's many other people that should be guilty also. you know. But obviously, yes, he is right. They have somewhat, not blood on their hands. They have somewhat. It is somewhat their fault for not realizing it sooner, but it's not all their fault, right?
Authorities that their son, who also had an Al-Qaeda manual, was preparing to commit acts of terrorism. So getting back to this story about when it says he's facing 52 years in solitary confinement. That is his minimum term, life, with a recommendation of 52 years before he's eligible for parole. Now, as you can quite imagine, every fucking inmate in the system, apart from some of the Bacons, but I bet some of the Bacons would probably like to give him a bit of justice as well, in their own sick way, if you know what I mean. But he is the number one target throughout the UK prison system. Any amount of people are wanting to get their hands on this horrible, despicable person and act out prison justice. And that is the reason why he will be kept in solitary confinement for the foreseeable future, because there will never be a time when he will be safe to be released onto even the VP wings, because there's lads on the VP wings who have went down from normal location for drug debts and whatever else, snitching, grassing, who are down there, who will also, even though they're wronging themselves for getting themselves put down there, if they bump into him on the VP wing, you can imagine what is going to happen. So I'm going to read through this article a little bit. So it goes on to say, a former inmate who was in prison alongside him. The 19-year-old has already been segregated after he allegedly threw boiling water. There's no alleged. There's no alleged. He fucking done it. He threw boiling water on the screws inside a Belmarsh and got a good wrapping up and got a good fucking beating for it as well off the screws. Rightly so. It is understood that Rudakubana, who has been in jail for less than a year, is also being kept apart from other inmates due to fears for his safety. The incident, which is still under investigation by the Met Police, is said to have involved Rudakubana boiling a kettle in his cell and throwing the scalding water through a hatch in May. Rudakubana was jailed for at least 52 years for killing poor innocent little Bebe King 6, Elsie Dot Stancombe 7, and Alicia de Silva Aguiar 9, as well as the attempted murder of 8 other children, 2 adults, at a Taylor Swift themed dance class. Now, never mind him being kept in segregation for his own safety. He should be kept in segregation with nothing but a concrete bed, no kettles, no luxuries, no fucking bedding, a little tiny, give him the coldest cell you can find and leave him left like that to rot. Give him enough water and food to keep him alive, but let him suffer in a fucking dungeon for the rest of his life. He is likely to be behind bars until he is 70, after being handed the longest sentence ever given to someone of his age. Though experts say it is unlikely he will ever be released. He will not.
Inshallah.
He has been shown no mercy in prison. A former inmate who served time alongside him has went on to tell the press. He is at risk every day, obviously, and was incredibly stupid to kettle the screws so early into his sentence. I wouldn't be surprised if he spends the rest of his sentence in solitary. And like I've said in previous videos, when he done that, the screws were the only ones that he had as, I was going to say, as friends, as such, because that's the way he might have looked at them. The screws wouldn't have looked at him like that. You can bet your fucking bet anything on that. But obviously they've got to do their job. They've got a duty to fucking be professional with him, even though most of the time they won't be, but that's what they're supposed to do. And what has he done? The only ones that speak to him, he chucks boiling water on them. So what do you think the screws are going to do with him? They're going to have his fucking life. The insider said Rudakubana has now been treated as even more dangerous and won't be receiving any privileges. The killer was moved to the contingency suite at Belmarsh after the reported attack on an inmate in a bid to separate him for his safety and that of prison officers. It says reported attack on an inmate. On the officers, more like it. Rudakubana's former prison pal said that a guard sits outside the suite 24 hours a day and checks on the prisoner every 30 minutes, with the governor and officer having a key. The prison source added Rudakubana was living like a tramp and was not washing or cutting his hair. They said that he had lost weight and was hiding sleeping pills. He wouldn't have been hiding sleeping pills because there's no fucking way they'll be giving him sleeping pills. He probably will be on medication, but it'll be given to him through the hatch of the nurse. They said he was planning on doing away with himself in some final act of control towards his victims' families. And this is where it goes on to say at the end of that article that the Merseyside police are looking into Rudakubana's parents, and rightly so. I believe that they should be held accountable as well if he's went on oath and said that their son had amassed an arsenal of white knives and other weapons and was planning on carrying out an attack on his old school a week before. If you had any idea that your son was a fucking radical, he had an Al-Qaeda manual, and he was going to go to school and attack and kill kids, you have a duty of fucking care, whether it's your son or not, to put a stop to that. So you need to be held accountable, Alphonse and his wife.
Maybe he is right there. Because obviously, like I said, he did get caught on the way to a school. I don't know if his father knew that he was going to school, but he did get stopped in a car. Let me just show you. Obviously, this video is basically finished. Axel Rudakubana, father stops him. He actually gets stopped a week before. Yeah, this is the video. Video shows Southport killer Axel Rudakubana's father stopping him to travel to former school. So this will be one of the last clips we watch. Just make this smaller. There we go. So he booked a taxi from his home address to his former school, the Range High School in Formby. So if this had taken place, obviously he would have been caught by that time, by obviously straight after this. But he was gonna do the same thing, exact same thing, the way he did it before. He'd book a taxi, not pay it, go do what he needs to do, and just get caught for. He didn't have no escape plan, nothing. He just wanted to get caught for it, you know what I mean? He really had that much hate for like people, random people. It's how you know, bro. Like, bro, literally, I can't keep saying he's not sane, bro. But that's what he seems, isn't it? Like, what else can you be, bro? You're telling me he's a sane person thinking like that. Obviously, it's good that they didn't find him not sane, or else he'll be in a mental hospital. But you could tell, bro, he's not right in the head, fam. That's his father blurred out. Telling the taxi driver, no, don't let my son go nowhere. You get me? Obviously, he was 17 at the time, so obviously still his his carer. He has to make sure he takes responsibility of him. So maybe he didn't know fully where he was off to, but you get me? He just didn't want him to go out at that time. Rudakubana does not make the journey after his father had pleaded with the taxi driver not to take him. And bro, look, he just storms out of the taxi pissed off, and he had a whole bag. God knows what he had in that bag, bro. Because obviously, you know, when he went to the Taylor Swift concert, I think he had the knife like under his jumper or on his hip. Not the concert, sorry, the dancing club. So yeah, he probably had a knife on him, but he had no bag with him. And here he had a bag. So going to the school, God knows what he was trying to do, bro. You know what I mean? Rudakubana then storms out of the car, slamming the door behind him. Good on the father, man. You don't never know, bro. Like, he could have killed even more people by that time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously, it's bad that how it turned out, but it could have been worse, man. You never know. And obviously, these are the 3 victims. Rudakubana, 18, has been sentenced to a minimum of 52 years in prison for the murder of Bebe King, who was 6. 6, bro. 6. Like, these children cannot do nothing to hurt you, bro. And also a bit of another small backstory. Like, apparently, in school he used to get bullied a lot. Yeah, by young kids in his primary school, and it's coming up to his secondary school, whatever. He used to have fights because of it. And he probably just grew up with hatred against little kids, you know what I mean? Because he's just not right in the head. He doesn't know that there's other people who are not the same as them. Them kids who are bullying you, there's other people who are actually good. They will never do that to you. But in his head, he just probably kept a grudge that just built up. Had no one to talk to about it. Obviously, his parents were refugees and stuff, so maybe he couldn't relate to them. He couldn't open up to them. They were strict. You never know, man. But obviously, no excuse for it, for what he done. Still very animal thing to do, to go and actually wound a 6-year-old who had nothing to do with bullying you. But yeah. Elsie Dot Stancombe, 7, and Elsie the Silva Aguiar, 9. And for 10 counts of attempted murder. I'm guessing that was Elise. No, that was Bebe. That was Elise, the middle one. Bebe, Elise, Alice. I think it goes, yeah. Look bro. Look how young they look, bro. Crazy. But yeah, guys, anyway, that was the update on Axel Rudakubana, the criminal from Rwanda. Obviously, I don't know if he was born here or whatnot, but he basically grew up in the UK. But yeah, any more updates that do come out about him, hopefully they're good ones. Hopefully they got good news about something happening to him or whatnot. I had some spicy food, bro. It just came back up. So yeah, I will update you on his story. I will update you anytime I do get something. But yeah, that's Axel Rudakubana. Give me your put comments down below what you think of this case. Like, what went through his mind? Why would someone do this? Like, obviously, there's probably no answers for that, but if you can, please just explain to me, like, why, you know? Obviously, I know that he's not sane and whatnot, but if there's any reasonable explanation, which I know there isn't, can please someone tell me, because this is not normal, bro. Because if he can do that, there's a lot of other people like him in the world too, bro, that are pure evil like that, which is crazy, man. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the consistency that you man are liking it, even if I get 10 views, 5 views, 20 views, as long as someone's watching it, I do not mind. I hope you guys enjoy. Please leave me some ideas and comments on what to post next. I want to at least post 2-3 videos a day. I just need to have ideas. I'm trying to find, I do get at least 1-2 ideas a day, but I need more, bro. So if you guys know what you want to watch, what you want me to react to, what you want me to talk about, what you want me to break down, please leave it in the comments below. I will respond. I will like your comment. I will make sure to get back to you, or also react to what you want me to react to. Anyways, guys, it's your boy. It's been your boy PP24s. You get me? Stay tuned. Turn the bell notifications on, as I will keep uploading consistently. And yeah, it's been your boy, man. Have a nice day. Peace.